start this second draft as NIP now on blue side, but it looks like WE are second pick as well. So, okay, we just have a normal draft.
Wow.
Bless.
Wow. This is great. It's just like how it should be. Right, games,
Yes.
we instituted too many rules, too many fancy rules here. A lot of mid lane bans. Akali, Azir, Ryze, and Orianna. So with Ahri and Aurora gone, what are we looking for in mid? I mean, Talia is still open, yes.
Pantheon
but
slam.
I think we're going to be looking, yeah, Pantheon, especially. I know you were talking about this in game number 1, but if we're not looking at those, then we're trying to cook up something a little bit different. Yeah, another Enchanter support.
I mean, Zhuo has been enjoying this meta so far. I remember when Zhuo came in for JDG in 2025, and we were all like, I don't know if this really fixes a lot of the things that's going wrong for JDG. Didn't at the end of the day, which led even to more disbelief and doubt about this roster. But Zhuo has been one of the more reliable parts about this roster. But as we called for Pantheon being one of the prime picks that you can look for, it's available on the return, and Monki is going to immediately slam it.
So what is the champion that we're going to be playing to sides with? Because talked a lot about it when we had the Nocturne game in our second series for Weibo versus AL, but Pantheon can be super flexible in what he can provide to a team, and more importantly, I think just having access to make plays on, the opposite side of the map, then open up and go for an objective afterwards is super, super clean. And you have a lot of options here. Again, just the fact that mid pool is getting squeezed like this kind of makes it a little bit more interesting. I think Talia gets a lot of value here in this game for either team. Having it for the Ashe and Seraphine is huge. Pairing Pantheon with Talia, again, a great combo. Taking that away is something important. We're getting a Gnar blind here for Hoya.
Interesting.
What?
I mean, listen, if I'm playing as Cube, I'm not scared of anything. I'm going to just keep it a stack. But that is still crazy in just like a vanilla vacuum draft setting, Gnar blind with so many things on the table, and you're going into like counter pick dire scenario where W are going to get guaranteed red side for it, but I mean, they can continue cooking on what support they want, pairing for this Ezreal. Obviously, they were never going to get Karma since it was already primarily banned. Maybe Ninjas in Pyjamas can just get rid of a Bard pairing from it, but the Mel answer into Ashe Seraphine has been something that we have seen climb up in recent play.
I'm trying to look at what Karis has left, or what Care has left that's not going to be completely owned by a W from this Mel.
Yeah.
Aurelion Soul's interesting. Yone is good. Diana is actually, funnily enough, actually not that bad. Same with Talia still. So there's a few options here for NIP. We just don't know what their jungle situation. Rafa, do you believe this is an R jungle? Do we think that Guwon is going to kind of spice it up? Because he, it's been floating around.
Has it been in pro play yet though? Other than
Tatu played it. Tatu played it in CB LOL. He lost, but
if Guwon is watching Tatu VODs, then that's just awesome. But I have no idea. But it would be an interesting proposition to say that we're picking Gnar early because we can flex this, and then we're going to bait out an early top lane pick from WE, and then absolutely smash it with a more insane counter pick from Hoya. So if we get Gnar jungle, I'm waking up the damn house. I don't care.
Well, let's see. WE, they're getting the mom and daughter combo here with Mbessa and Mel on the same team. Great dive. I think they have a lot of flexibility as to what they want to go for. There's the Nocturne to try to prevent or answer the dives or answer the side lane plays that we want to see from Pantheon. I gotta say, Rafa, I like WE's draft. They have a lot of ways of answering what NIP want to do. Mbessa into Gnar is a little tricky, but Mbessa has so much damage packed into her kit and a lot of shielding as well, and it might make it difficult for Hoya in the lane phase. Victor is going to be nice and stalwart. I think is really tough to push out, so if we get to an early mid game here where everything is stable, I like what NIP have. They have great range. While they don't have a front line, I don't think it matters for what this game is going to be. But for WE, it's all about destabilizing side lanes. Having Ezreal move in...
Galleon support? Or Mel support?
It could be Galleon support. I think it could be Pantheon support. Is this Mel support? No. No. We cooked! We cooked! But it's not NIP!
Yeah, it's WE that cooked here. Well, Arha still trying to make his adjustment to his new team and home as best as possible. And he's pulling out something a little bit spicy because I don't think we've seen Mel's support, at least in LPL.
Not in LPL, but I know LCP has played it.
Okay.
2274, if I remember correctly. For my LCP fans, I'm sorry, please don't crucify me. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, I think, with Mel support. Oh, it was Elio. All right, well, crucify me, guys. Yeah, it was Elio. It was a win, and it was also played in the VCS as well. It was a loss.
Jungle diff. Just blame it on jungle diff.
True. Can you guess what the support was in VCS? It was Mel support into what?
Into Anivia? I don't know.
Into LeBlanc. It was Sivir Mel into Ashe
LeBlanc. What a... Dude, I want to watch that game. That sounds lit. Oh my god.
It happened a month ago. So you could... The VOD is somewhere. I'm sure Molecule is talking about it.
Oh my goodness. LeBlanc support. Oh, that takes me back to some of our caster clash games of you and Summer running like LeBlanc support and Silas support in bot lane.
Oh yeah. The Silas support was an accident. That one was a misclick, but they can't take away our Aurelia LeBlanc. You can't take that away from us.
Well, looking forward into this game, Mel, just compositionally, regardless of where she was going to go, was always going to be nice into that Ashe and Seraphine, right? But into support, is there anything that you get out of this lane that you wouldn't have if it was just in mid lane instead?
So to start, I think that it was really smart of for WE to take the Mel and then leave that as a flex option to them, even though maybe it was unknown to us. It means that they did get the Galio into Victor, which is going to be a little bit more punishing in lane, and in side lane it'll mean that Galio is immovable, but it'll also kind of trap Victor in the lane more often than not, depending on what build we get. If it is AP Galio, then expect to see a lot of burst damage as we go further in the game. And, you know, Mel, I think, is super flexible. Her kit is just very, very jam-packed with damage. And usually you want to get a lot of ability haste. You want to be able to kind of spam out some of those spells, especially for your rebuttal. So it could make the 5-on-5s more interesting. I'm just worried that WE are going to be in really weird spots because they have a Mel support. And they have...
Yeah.
Essentially a lot of frontline. They have a really great dive. So we'll see. We're heading into game number 2.
Get those Giles rolling.
Please.
Where are my Giles? Right. Did we miss them? What?
No.
We got.
All right. It's the first ever LPL support, Mel. It is not the first ever tier 1. That is still claimed by Elio, as we were talking about earlier. But this also matches the range advantage that usually an Ashe Seraphine can have. So I am, of course, way more interested in see what exactly is the strength and the overall idea behind taking Mel support outside of the natural counters you're going to have and being able to throw an Ashe ultimate or a Seraphine ultimate. That is if that happens in the game, that actually just turns the entire fight in most cases.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I find super obnoxious about playing into Mel in general is how damn hard it is to try and interact with her Q, because that thing, you just position it over a champion's head and it's almost unmissable. So this is such a very frustrating lane to play against in terms of poke and harass. And while Seraphine does have quote-unquote sustain, it's gated by her W, and that empowered W is a very, very, very long cooldown. So you, alongside an Ezreal, have really, really strong poke in this lane.
We are seeing Hoya hit level 3 first. Cube, maybe if this cannon minion dies, he will grab the 3rd level, but already seeing NIP do a really good job. And the lanes that are not named bot lane right now. And junglers are, for the first time, pathing in opposite directions. Nocturne, ooh. I wonder if Guwon tries to walk in. I might have to hold this considering Karis is near death and does not want to recall. I think Karis is still going to force this issue, though. He's still going to get this wave underneath the turret. So
it is not a fun position to be in. I just want to remind Karis that he took this counter pick matchup. So hopefully it does get better for him, because early on, Care is absolutely dominating it, and I don't even know
Victor,
if...
man. It's Victor.
Yeah.
Like, this champion is really obnoxious in the lane as a mage. Like, he obviously scales. He has a bit of a trough in the mid game, just by way of how his kit works. But he is really obnoxious with Siphon Power, the shielding, the movement speed you get access to.
Can they kill? Oh my god, the fear slows him long enough, and Guwon has a big enough health bar to sustain the dive. First blood goes over to Hoya's Gnar.
Oh my god, and he's gonna recall here. He should be able to, both of them will TP, so it won't be much lost outside of the kill gold there. And I will say for WE, getting respawn Raptors feels really good as Monki, considering what we saw in the last game. He finally gets to counter jungle his opponent. He's gonna recall. We're seeing some pings. As soon as Guwon sees that his Raptors are gone, does he just make a beeline up there? No, he's gonna go and take his Krugs. Maybe he looks bot lane, and maybe there's some answers there, but maybe this just in general, this should make Hoya's lane a little bit easier, especially him getting closer to those plated steel caps.
Yep. Yeah, once you get the tier 2 boots on Gnar, this helps you win, or at least just stay alive in a lot of matchups that you are forced to blind in. And for Monki, this is the first time where we're getting to see him have potentially an advantage because of Guwon taking the time to make that gank happen on the top side of the map. The question is, what can Monki do with that advantage? And right now, one camp isn't going to really be the end of the world up until you're level 6, but you will be able to hit level 6 a little bit faster. And then it just comes down to, can you immediately Grand Starfall somewhere while Guwon is still on level 5?
Let's see what else we can get from them. Very close game. I know it's only the first day of the season for folks at home, but this is a match that we are expecting in a double round robin that is going to make or break a lot of playoff placements for these two in particular as Group Perseverance brethren. So important for whoever is the winner of this series that you're able to kind of break that head-to-head. Pantheon's here, there's no answer.
Ooh, Monki with the immediate flash. W right on top of Zhuo. And even with the flash, Seraphine cannot survive. Well done by WE's jungler, who has finally woken up in this series.
And also, I will applaud Assum, who was trying to body block for his support, so the Ezreal doesn't get anything, but it doesn't matter. Ezreal and Mel, and even Pantheon get to go over top this Ashe. Guwon was trying to look for an invade onto Gromp, but just couldn't justify it with the wave, and especially with the bot lane still being there. Care has just constantly had prio in this lane. That is crazy that Hoya does get to dodge that with the slowest hop in the universe.
Cube fishing for that ultimate does not hit it, and that removes a lot of that all-in power that you're trying to look for, especially when Hoya is in mini form. As we pointed out before, not only Monki is able to hit level 6, but that first gank ensures that the experience was going to help him guarantee it. He can now look for this dragon. He is incredibly stronger than Guwon while he's still trying to find another camp to farm. So first dragon is going to go over to WE's side, and this is going to give decent leverage for how WE can try and navigate the second game of the series.
And you guys are probably going to get sick of this, hearing this from casters until it is gone, but as soon as Pantheon gets a point in his ultimate, similar to Mbessa actually, they get % armor pen, which makes no sense. There is no reason for these champions to get these buffs. Like, why? Why do I get to put a point into an ability? And it is an ultimate ability. You only get to put a point in 3 times. There's no reason to give them % armor pen. This is just ridiculous.
What might be ridiculous is that Cube has to get ganked not once but twice, as Paranoia with Hoya right behind him ensures that Cube has got nowhere else to go.
So we can innovate, Rafa. We can call it the Para-Hoya.
Oh, I like that. The Para-Hoya. I mean, the Para-Hoya Nar will be once Hoya is in mega form, and then he finds a multi-man slam with the cover of darkness all around.
This could be... Awesome lives. This will be a plate. Ezreal can also ult if they decide to stay. You can see that both Galio and him are fading towards the bot side in case anything spicy happens, but this could be our knock wave. They can't take this from us. No other league has a player like Hoya.
Hoya just needs to stay attached to Guwon like a Labubu, and then transform at the right time.
Nar is Labubu coded. I still don't understand what that is. I know what it is, like physically in the market, but I don't get it. I think that's okay.
All I can tell you, hang on. All right, well,
Gangster from Monki. Take this guy's wave, walk out, no questions asked. We're going to Grubs. I love you, Monki. That was beautiful. No notes.
Dude, could you imagine if the comms are like, hey, I want to play for Grubs. Can you move? He's like, no, I got this wave first. No, you don't.
Awesome.
You
Let me
have no
fix
more
that.
wave.
I'm going to fix that for
Let me
you.
fix that for you. Taunt from Karis is going to try to slow down the play, but Arha is the first target to fall. Here comes Hoya. Reverse Gnar. Scoops Monki right back into the waiting arms of ninjas in pajamas, and this Pantheon falls.
Well, where is the strength of this Mel? Because the Mel was supposed to use the rebuttal on the Ashe ultimate, but she got hit by it. So that turns into a kill, and another one on the Monki. 3 Grubs going over at NIP. I am extremely happy about that trade if I'm the ninjas. But for WE, if you're maybe Monki, you're saying, cool, I died, but I got your mid-wave. You know, like, I got 3 extra minions. Okay, so this is on Vision, by the way. I kind of wish that the observers had shown it from Mel's perspective, because... Or at least show us if Mel has her spells. She should have her rebuttal open, right? She had it! Or at least she could have had it. The idea that we had a rebuttal open and the Ashe ultimate hits us is a bit, like, absurd to me. Because then it just opens up for that play. So 1,500 gold now for NIP. And, cool, we have 1,000 gold lead here for about. We have seen these tales before. We saw it in our game number 2, Weibo versus AL. Elk is up 1,000 gold, but that was a Yunara. This is an Ezreal.
Mm-hmm. And at least for Ninjas in Pajamas, they have a reliable way of trying to at least stick to the Ezreal. Now, it all comes down to timing when you're trying to shift away from a Nocturne, because you have to let him close the distance first and then like, burn your mobility spells. Yeah.
We said they're attached, so.
Oh, you're right. My bad. Hoya, the ever-faithful Labubu, another public execution.
Just wait for Pantheon, man. Like,
oh, and now Monki is compromised because he walks up. He's on Vision. My top laner just sold me out. Oh
my Para-Hoya, it works. It just keeps working, man. You can't beat this combo. We gotta get away from them, WE. We're not winning versus the Para-Hoyas. So it sounds like it's great because it's the Paranoia, obviously, and it sounds like we have a pair of Hoyas, which if you would have told me we have 2 of them last year, I would have told you we gotta get out. We're not dealing. I don't want 2 Hoya. I barely bought 1 sometimes, but it's working. It's working for NIP.
Yeah. already a 2.3k gold lead in the bank, just off of the strength of Hoya and Guwon. You know, last game it was Guwon and Care kind of working together and building up the lead and just taking over the game. And now they've just shifted over to the top side. And like we said before, Dimitri, normally Gnar blind can be punished. There are so many champions in like the entirety of League of Legends that Gnar just hates playing against. And Bessa, while more meta, can be difficult. But like I said before, and I stand on business, I fear nothing that Cube has, and he has now missed not one but two raw public executions.
It is a hard ability to land, mostly as we've seen. The wind up for that spell is ridiculously long. You know, if there's a way we're gonna balance an ability that gives you flat percentage pen on it for your entire kit, by the way, it is gonna be by making it have like a 7,000 year arm time, but. You did have Pantheon in the area, and Pantheon can just stun the target, make it almost impossible for you to miss it.
Yes.
So, just a bit of misexecution there. It means that now WE are down almost 3,000 gold, but they've gotten 2 dragons. They were able to do some counter jungling. So, if we just put our fingers, like I'm trying to see how much. 2 fingers for me works. Use as many as you need at home. And you put them over Hoya and Guwon's gold lead. The game is not that bad.
Yeah.
But I can't do that all the time. I can't keep my hand in front of the monitor this whole time. It's kind of strenuous. So, okay. Yes!
We did it! Does it matter? Oh
no!
Wait a minute. Hoya scoops them into the range, but now Karis will join the fray and make sure that that top 2v1 dive is a 3v1 dive and does not go awry.
You know how we beat a pair of Hoyas? We take one of them, okay? We make it a single Hoya. And we are now going to be giving up a lot around the map, however, because we just gave over 2 plates to Victor in mid. We're going to have a blue buff being taken here by NIP. And guess what? Let's get our Ashe fed as well. So it's a stopgap measure. It's as good as it's going to get right now. I don't think it's going to swing the pendulum much further in WE's favor, but relief of the pressure in top side.
Arha just used rebuttal for a Seraphine. So now Ashe R and Encore come through. The cover of darkness keeps them safe for now. The rest of the ninjas in pajamas cannot continue through the jungle. They just walk on out and take their wins when they can find them.
Guess what? We still stole the blue buff, and we still got plates for our laners. So overall, the gold is going to be more spread out for NIP. Cube did get 2 plates on top side, so you're feeling good about that. Oh, this is not going well at all. Rebuttal is down. That's a 20-second cooldown, but I think that about is probably just going to lose access to this wave. Pantheon is coming, and he's on vision here.
Okay. Is Paranoia available? Nope, not anymore, because they just used it for the jungle invade. Monki is sidestepping all of the beat drops from Zhuo, finally locks him down, and about is paid. But here comes Care to join the party. Flash, Arcane Storm, looks for the Death Blazer. Can he burn it with the Blackfire Torch? Yes, sir! But here comes a flash from Karis, tries to turn around on the Care.
No!
Care is surviving, Care is thriving, just one more on attack, finally takes it with the Hollow Radiance, but it ends up being a massive triple kill for Assum.
Another plate here for Assum, and for every inch that WE wants to take, NIP are taking out the ruler and beating him with it at this point. They have 4,000 gold lead. What? How can we play at this point? And now we're going to be either walking into Herald and down some summoner spells, or we're going to be walking into this dragon in 3 minutes and still down some summoner spells. A lot of time wasted here for Monki, who is looking and still trying to get things. Look, gold onto a bout is as good as it's going to get. We get the flash from Care. These are things that we can try to replicate and punish for the upcoming fights. But you just lose so much on the back end for this. It's a Pyrrhic victory at the very least.
These plays often come from a place of desperation for WE, and given that the game 1 was a brutal loss, and they need to make sure that they can try and bounce back, because we cannot say it enough. Games against NIP are some of your most attainable victories for WE compared to the rest of the teams in Group Ascend. And if you are dropping a series to NIP, I don't know how well you're going to do against the rest of the competition.
Monki is waiting. He's sitting in Fog of War. There are 2 places he can ult right now. It can go towards the Victor, who again, no flash. Seems like that's going to be the play. They're waiting for this Hoya recall. Perfect!
Oh, and he hits it onto Care. No flash on a Victor. A lot easier to snag. The cover of darkness will allow Guwon to make a side play onto Mel. And Care buys enough time before eventually going down that the rest of the team is able to push in through mid, forcing a turret down on this tier 1, and at least a teleport from Karis, but the Rift Herald is still going to make the charge. Can they send it anywhere else?
It seems like anybody else wants to get in the driver's seat. Maybe they get one more crash. Looks like that'll be the case. I still think that was really well played from WE. Good job on being able to answer topside. They're going to be able to grab a turret for themselves. Seems like there's going to be a 2-for-1 trade in favor of the Ninjas, though. They get bot lane tier 1. They're not going to be able to fight for this dragon, or are they? Maybe they want to see if they can make a pick. Who is going to be lazy? Who is going to be walking into Fog of War? They don't know who's on the right. Here. They know Assum here. Oh, Monki!
Okay, well, oh, nice use of the rebuttal on the Encore, but they still have an Ash Shadow to follow up on top of it. Hoya is only in mini form, but these auto attacks will hurt. The hyper procs. Can Hoya keep himself alive? He's just dancing on them. Yes. He's just keeping them busy, and now he's building it up. Slam into the wall. Finds a bout. The flash doesn't even matter. It was just an arcane shift, but the rest of Ninjas in Pyjamas return to the script of game 1. Run WE down into their graves.
This is such a great series for the NIP fans here. Your team is looking great. You're making plays on sides. You're answering. You're even doing creative flanks. Hoya, with no vision on him, walks behind the enemy jungler. Is able to pick off the rest of Team WE. And that Dragon Soul stacking that maybe could have given WE an out is just completely shut out. It's stalled out. 7,500 gold here for the Ninjas. And guess what? We're going to make it 8,000 with this last tier 1.
Sheesh. 8,000 gold advantage before the Baron even freaking spawns. This is destruction.
This is heavy domination. You teased it at the beginning. You were saying it was a light to decent domination. We're getting full on.
Total annihilation. I just can't even. That one classic esports meme: brutal, savage, wrecked, absolutely taken down. This is a prime example of that right here. And once again, it is being manifested and orchestrated by Guwon on this Nocturne. This time around, another very well-played early game. And it's not even to say that Monki didn't have good answers. He had a camp advantage. He's going to try and fish for something here, but gets hit by the Ash Arrow. Encore. What's the point of picking the spell if we can't rebuttal any of these things? By the way, guys, Guwon just sinks him in on the cube, and Hoya TP'd right behind him under the cover of the Shroud of Paranoia. Karis cannot join the fray. About is just running for his life and giving up on the game.
Are we going for Baron? It spawns in 8 seconds. Are we going for Baron? Yep, I see pings. Let's take a mid-tier 2. And NIP, we're going to put the finishing touches. I mean, unfortunately, Raafaa, for WE, they have no damage now. Pantheon is too far behind. Ezreal didn't really get to play the game enough early on to be able to match. So while he is going to be finishing his Muramana here at 20 minutes, NIP are going to be done with 3 items on a lot of their carries. And I think you were right to not be afraid of Cube. He is getting diced very, very badly in this game and in this series.
He's getting Fortnite danced on by a Labubu. That is not a good look.
I have no response to that. Again, I still I still don't understand Labubu. Are they just like webkins basically, or are they like the little
No, so I don't understand how it got to be, but I think what happened was there is a K-pop star or some kind of hang on. All right. Arrow goes wide. Monki lives to see another day. Maybe gets the
Labubu story time. We continue.
Yep. Some K-pop star or some pop star over in the East started wearing Labubus as like a collectible, and then the trend just caught on. Basically, is how I understand it.
Okay. All right. Interesting. I have seen the original artists behind Labubus, and I feel really bad for them because it almost feels like the commercialization of their design lost a lot of the cool and creative space that it comes with how they were making. I don't know. It looked really cool.
Yeah.
But I never got into it. I really don't also probably just don't get into very many like collectibles like that. It's just not. I'm not a very material person. I don't have a lot of like things that I collect outside of like, Magic cards. But that even then, a lot of those are old, and a lot of them I.
Sure.
You want to talk about collecting stuff?
Yeah.
Producer Ilya, that guy is a freak.
He's got a lot of cool things, though. W are going to send it one last Hail Mary engage, see if they can find any way to get back over a 11,000 gold advantage, but the rest of Ninjas in Pyjamas just dive the back line with absolute impunity. Hoya is having a field day on this Gnar. 8-0 and 10 for the Nocturne. Guwon, give yourself a bow and a pat on the back. This was a jungle kingdom.
And a great series. A great 2-0 to take off to start your season. I think you're really excited about the prospects of being able to win versus WE. And potentially it gives you some more wind in your sails. We were talking about it before, but as the two group perseverance teams, it is super important that your performance here in the opening weeks gives you a bout or even potential say in who you're going to be able to scrim against, right? Like, yeah. I'm assuming that because you're in Group Ascend, you're going to have access to being able to play at least a couple of scrims versus AL, NIP, or WE, and Top Esports, and JDG and IG. These other teams that you're kind of looking forward to bring you up to speed and play a much better game than you would have access to normally as Group Nirvana. That's just kind of how the bubbles end up kind of breaking out. So
right.
A good start from them is good to see, but I'm looking at their schedule. Their next 3 games are IG, Weibo, and JDG. I'm not super worried about the IG series as much.
Yeah.
Depends on who's in mid lane, because Care versus Renard could be really funny.
True.
Weibo, they keep doing things that make me question mark ping. But JDG, I would be surprised if Hongq is getting clapped.
Yeah, but once again, I want to go back to how Ninjas in Pyjamas found these wins in both of these games, and if there was like a serious lane gap that was happening, then I would be a little bit more apprehensive of saying, oh yeah, Ninjas in Pyjamas might get dookied on by some of these other teams that just have better laners, because I mean, let's face it, like I said Hoya had nothing to fear in this series for a reason, but then against players like Bin, that might have to change, you know? But a lot of these leads were through Guwon, and jungle is in a interesting spot where you don't have to interact with the enemy jungler. Now, the enemy jungler can try and take advantage of that and go to places where you're not willing to go and then impact the map. So what I'm trying to get at is, Dimitri, is that there's a chance that Ninjas in Pyjamas clean play through Guwon might result in solid early games. I'm not going to say winning, but I think they're going to be solid looking early games that can be somewhat replicated as a formula going into the better teams. Now, where I think Ninjas in Pyjamas are going to struggle is that they walked all over Team WE without any regards to proper setup or whatnot, because they just had the wallet diff at the end of the day. What happens when you go up into a team you're not wallet gapping at that point?
Well, we saw that in playoffs, and that's why they got 3-0'd by BLG. So
true. Very true.
We also saw that when they lost against IG, actually, in another series, and they immediately got bowed out, same way that WE did. So, again, there are things that we can try to take away from them. They are very clearly, again, one of the outside looking in teams. They're here. It's great that you're here. Awesome. We hope to see you improve throughout the double round robin, but I do not have very high expectations for this split of NIP, and I think that that is realistic and healthy. We do not want to get super hyped, get over excited over one win, and then spend the rest of the season in the dumps. So
yeah,
and kind of looking at their opponents before we send them off for the night. I did say that bringing in a new support was going to basically kind of reset things. I'm still kind of worried about this top side for WE because the games that they did lose in a lot of their series is Karis present? In Split 1 anyway, he seemed like he was really, really good, but Cube and especially Monki became liabilities for this team, especially in some of those series. It didn't matter if Cube was playing carry top lanes, range top lanes, or the tanks. Cube, a lot of the times, is, I think, playing not to lose and not necessarily to win. We saw that in the Investing game, he actually was doing a lot. Unfortunately, just missed way too many spells, and also was the subject of a lot of a jungle attention early.
Yeah. And like we said before, and at least in the second game, Monki made attempts to try and answer a lot of Guwon's pressure on the cross map. But at the end of the day, it just didn't matter. Also, it is a shame that we never got to see this replay with Mel's like champion HUD to see if whether he had rebuttal on or not. But
yeah,
because I want to be able to fairly assess whether Raafaa was cooking with this or if this is like something viable, because the poke is obnoxious, but if we're not even just using the power of this champion appropriately, then I'm disappointed. Even if the game was like not entirely your fault.
Mel a lot of times actually can play frontline in a very unique way. Like, I think of Mel, and look, you reflected one of them, but really good target discipline from NIP. They throw one spell, they wait for the rebuttal, and then we're going to throw another spell. That's the one you can't dodge at that point.
Yeah.
I like to think of Mel, especially if she's going to be played support, you kind of have to play her in the same... How do I want to word this? The orientation in which you have to walk into fights plays a lot like Senna. Because Senna wants to stand behind her targets, heal her front line and her melees, as well as dealing damage in the front. Mel, especially against Seraphine, doesn't have to frontline, but when you are playing against an Ashe, when you are playing against a Seraphine, you have to frontline. You have to be kind of up in front. You have to be next to your Pantheon a lot of the times. And I think Monki, as we saw, there was a ton of fights in this game where Monki was either too far forward, too far away, or just not at all in the right position. Either way. So, a lot of cooking that still needs to be done here. And this is going to be a very safe split for them, because there's no threat of relegation like there is in Nirvana, and you still are going to at least play one best of 5 at the end of the season for the play-ins going into our postseason.
Yeah. Well, normally we would be waiting for the series end and the MVP and the player of the game, but we're probably not going to get that for a while, and I can see the sun starting to peer through my blinds, so I think it is time to wrap the show up and start getting ready for...
I think the Pog's coming here. The Pog is...
Do we...
No! It's Zhuo.
Yeah,
all right, let's wrap it up, brother.
It's the interview. All right. Well, before we close out the show, we want to give a huge thank you very much to our elite coffee supporters, Aaron Soup and Mung. Their pledged financial contributions help level up the broadcast and give back to the cast and crew who strive to give you an English LPL product every single day. On behalf of myself, Raafaa, Alk, and our awesome kick-ass producer, Ilya, and the rest of the social and mod crew, you sound muted again. Why are you muted?
Wait. No, I'm not. Wait, I'm not. I just want to do standings. I want to look at standings real quick. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Raafaa.
my bad. Okay.
Producer Ilya, give me my standings.
Quick standings over you.
Quick standings. A lot of teams haven't played, but as you can see, wait a minute. These are not linked. These are not linked. All right, producer Ilya, throw away my standings. All right, we'll fix them. We'll fix them for tomorrow. Rafa, do the outro. Go again. We'll do it again.
Yep. On behalf of the broadcast staff and crew, myself, Raafaa, Alk, and Ilya, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to come tomorrow, same time. BLG, JDG, our Split 1 Finals rematch. We'll see you all then.